Right now, there are thousands of music teachers out there watching this that are going, yeah. That's
pretty much all my students too. I've been a music teacher now for the best part of 20 years. There's this particular point that he's made that I just felt like I wanted to talk about.
I called one of my friends who's a music teacher to ask him, how many of your students only play during their lessons, meaning they never practice during the week, just play in their lesson? And he's like, oh, that's easy. 100%.
Just like all of the music teachers out there that I know, I'm really passionate about it. I really want to get the best results possible for the people that I teach. To think that the success rates these days are so low, the thing that goes through my mind straight away is it me? Am I just a really bad teacher? When I see a video from Rick Beato, to hear that he has spoke to a music teacher that he classes as a peer say the same thing, that students just do not practice anymore, is actually quite reassuring to know that it's not just me. It's also incredibly disheartening to think that we're all going through the same problem. I try my best to adapt my approach to always try and get the best results from people. And there's something that I always do with students when they're new. I ask them 3 very simple questions, and there's a purpose for these questions. Why do you want to play the guitar? Knowing why you want to do it helps me to understand your motivation. What music do you like? Knowing what inspires you will help me to be able to tailor lesson plans around what you like. What do you want to be able to do? What do you want to achieve? If you know what someone wants to achieve, you can then break down what they need to learn to get them there. And my job is essentially to provide structure to your learning, so I need to know what your goals are. But this is something that's been really concerning me over the last 10 years or so. Young people just can't seem to answer any of these questions. I'm only 40, but I'm starting to feel like I'm just an old man yelling at clouds as well. They're the ones hiring me. I shouldn't have to force them to want to play the guitar. They should have some form of desire to want to do it to start with. But I want to say that this isn't everyone. I have some fantastic students, and I'm going to talk about them in a moment as well. It all comes down to people just not wanting to put in the work. Some people, even the slightest inclination they're going to have to put a little bit of effort in, just turns them off. It just shuts them down completely. I've had to be quite savvy over the years about trying to almost trick people into learning something that they will say that they just cannot do, but actually they're just not willing to try. There's always been students that don't practice.
They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube Shorts, but practicing music or listening to music or looking up things about art or playing video games, they're not doing.
I want to agree with Rick with this, that it's so easy these days. Open up an app like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever it may be, and just scroll away, and it's like time just disappears. And maybe they're achieving this same kind of flow state when they go on these apps, and it takes no effort whatsoever. It's a strange world we live in where people can't seem to answer a simple question like, what music do you like? Nowadays, music seems to be something that people are not as interested in. People see it as being something they consume rather than something that consumes them. Again, I don't want to just sound like an old man just complaining about the youth, because I really do enjoy what I do. I love being able to teach these kids how to play an instrument. Maybe I am just not very good. Maybe I am a bad teacher. I'm open to that. But one thing I will say is that I always try my best.
Let's take a look at Google Trends. This actually measures actual search traffic on Google for specific topics. In 2004, music was at 100%. Now it's down to 25%. How about pop music? That's bad too. Hip hop, that's really bad. Well, what about art? That's down 60%. What do they care about? Video games? No. Video games are actually way down too.
The lack of interest is really disheartening, and I'm trying my best. It's hard. And I know there are other music teachers out there that are feeling the same way as me. It's hard. So I'm so lucky that it isn't 100% of my students that don't practice. I mean, a lot of the older students I teach are people that understand hard work, and they might have problems with time restraints, but they always find a time to do something. When it comes to young people, I have one student called Will Now, I don't know whether it's because his parents have really been behind him, or whether he genuinely just has such a passion for music, or whether he's not on screens all the time. I don't know, but this kid has put in a lot of effort over the years, and now he's reaping the rewards. Like, he's becoming a really, really talented guitar player. I'm always really inspired in his lessons. But there are students that don't practice that I'm also really proud of. There's a kid that I teach, I'm going to call him Robert. He doesn't practice very much at all. The thing that inspires him is songwriting. So every week we basically sit down and write a song. He is known at his school as the kid that writes songs, and not just the kid that writes songs, the kid that writes good songs. And he loves that. Being a music teacher is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. It's never felt like work to me until maybe about 5 years ago. It does feel a lot of times now like you are dragging people through the mud to get them just to pick up the guitar. As I've said over and over again, it's so disheartening. So what I need to do is to find the people that want to learn.
I know there's a bunch of music nerds out there that are saying, what are you talking about, Rick? We listen to music way more than we ever do. You're just out of touch. It's like, just look at the data.
People out there are passionate about music and love music, but it's not as popular as it used to be. Now, to be honest, it feels a little bit embarrassing saying this, because I'm a 40-year-old man who wants to become a YouTuber. But I just see it as being probably one of the only ways I have of reaching the people that find value in what I have to offer, because I know you're out there. I just need to find you. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.